Coming to you live from the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University, FATV presents coverage of Hockey Night in Fitchburg. And tonight, it's a CMAC crossover battle between the Bernardians of St. Bernard's and the Raiders of Hopedale-Milford. Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm Daniel Bolak, happy to have you along with us here tonight for what will be an exciting matchup between these two sides. St. Bernard's coming today with a record of 5-1, 2-0 in the CMAC B. They've gotten quite the strong start to the season. Wins over Greenfield, Keith Tech, East Hampton, Worcester, and Boston Latin Academy. As you can see, a bunch of teams from out of the area. And a rather exciting one against Worcester as well, a 9-8 final in that one. In fact, for St. Bernard's, over half the goals they conceded all season came in that one game. But a quarter of the goals that they've scored this season came in that game too. They've outscored opponents 36-15 across the first 6 games of the season. Finally picked up their first loss last week in the Lynn Christmas Holiday Tournament as they fell by a score of 3-2 to Peabody-Saugus Swampscott. And not for a lack of trying, 44 shots on goal for the Bernardians, but only able to beat the PSS keeper twice. Phoenix Fortier had a goal and assist, and Toby Bolak had a goal for the Blue and Gold. They'll be looking to bounce back against a Hopedale-Milford side that comes into this game with a record of 3-2, 1-1 in the CMAC A. They started with a 5-3 loss to Auburn, beat Grafton 6-2. Monty Tech Fitchburg, they were up here 2 weeks ago taking on the Bulldogs. That game went to overtime, and that was a game in which the Raiders poured over 50 shots on Avery Aiken and were able to deny him his first varsity victory with an overtime goal. And then they played in the Hopedale-Blackstone Valley Tech Hockey Tournament, hosted by a couple of the squads who call the Blackstone Valley Iceplex home down there in Hopedale. They took on Taunton in the opening round, lost 4-0 to the Tigers, but took on the other hosts in BVT. And in a game in which the Raiders were outshot 51-27, Hopedale-Milford was able to come away with a 4-3 victory. Ricky Nashawati and Josh Balzerini each lit the lamp twice, and Hunter Latendry had the best game of his young career in goal, 48 saves for the freshman netminder out of Milford. This Hopedale side comes into this game again with a record of 3-2. Talking with head coach Mike McQuarrie before the game, one of the things we both acknowledged is that this team is rather top-heavy. Only 6 players have points on the season for Hopedale-Milford, and most of it's come from the top line. Josh Balzerini, he's got 6 goals, 2 assists for 8 points. Ricky Nashawati has 4 goals and 7 assists for 11 points, and Mike McGrath has 4 goals and 3 assists for 7 points. After that, top defenseman Noah Smith, 2 goals and 3 assists for 5 points, and Griffin Paquette's got 3 assists as well. Watch the size on big number 17 as well. He's listed at 6'6". But after all of that, then the scoring goes to Nathan Mayo, a freshman forward who's got a goal, and that's all the scoring that there is for Hopedale-Milford. For St. Bernard's, they've got a lot more depth. They're led by Matthew Sylvia. Put up 41 points last season for the Bernardians. Already has 23 points this season on 10 goals, 13 assists, and 2 hat tricks on the campaign as well. Another player to watch, Evan Walker, 6 goals and 6 assists for the junior forward this year. In the Phoenix Fortier, another junior has 5 goals and 5 assists for 10 points. Toby Bolak, a junior captain, has 4 goals and 5 assists for 9 points. Will Canada's got a goal and 5 assists for 6 points. Brody Kenny's got 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points. And it just keeps going on and on. The Bernardians off to quite a hot start, 5-1. Last year they had their best season since they revived this program back in 2021, a 13-7-1 mark and 3rd in the Coughlin Conference. They made the playoffs for the 3rd straight year, but weren't able to get a victory this time around. But they've come out quite strong this season, and they're going to be a team to watch over the campaign. Already again a 5-1 record, playing a lot of teams from outside of the Central Mass architecture. Keith Tech is technically in Central Mass now. They're in Framingham, which is generally outside the standard bounds, but Keith Tech is in the CMAC, so we kind of consider them Central Mass now, at least for sports. And then Worcester, of course, the co-op of all the Worcester public schools, and Bay Path and Leicester, because they've got to get a lot of teams together to put together a solid roster. But after that, Greenfield, East Hampton, 2 Western Mass teams, Boston Latin Academy, and the Peabody Saugus Swampscott Co-op, Eastern Mass sides. And there's some more Eastern Mass teams coming up on the schedule. Bishop Fenwick next week. We'll have that game for you here on FATV.
Good evening, high school hockey fans, and welcome to the Wallace Civic Center for tonight's Central Mass Division.
There's a lot of diverse opponents coming for the Bernardians this season. It's going to be very, very interesting to watch as they go on. And Hopedale-Milford, playing Taunton earlier on this season, they'll have some more outside of Central Mass teams that they'll be playing, such as Ludlow, East Longmeadow, Greenfield, Oliver Ames, West Springfield, Westfield. It's quite a mix. We'll let you listen in now to Jim LaPointe with the starting lineups.
Number 20, Michael McGrath. At forward, number 18, Ricky Nashawata. At defense, number 17, Griffin Paquette. At forward, number 10, Josh Balzerini. At defense, number 3, Hank Richards. And in goal for the Raiders, number 30, Hunter Latandra. The head coach is Mike McQuarrie. And now for the Bernardians, starting on defense, number 15, Brody Kenny. On defense, number 3, Janheim Ja. At wing, number 6, Phoenix Fortier. At wing, number 16, Carter Moget. At center, number 23, Toby Bolak. And in goal for the Bernardians, number 30, Tyler McGeary. The head coach of St. Bernard's is Steven Sylvia. Tonight's officials, Bob Sachs and Brendan Phillips. Ladies and gentlemen, students, at this time, I would ask you all to please stand as we honor our nation and the flag with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Moments away from puck drop here at the Wallace Civic Center in Fitchburg. Hockey night in Fitchburg on FATV. Daniel Bolak here with you. The St. Bernard's Bernardians and the Hopedale-Milford Raiders set to do battle. Both CMAC teams, but in separate divisions, so it won't count for the league standings. But still going to be a spirited matchup either way. St. Bernard's goes with Tyler McGeary in goal. The junior from Fitchburg, 6 feet tall, makes his first appearance of the 25-26 season. Meanwhile, for the Hopedale-Milford Raiders, it's Hunter Latendry who will make his 6th appearance, his 5th start of the season, a goals against under 3, a save percentage over 900. He's been the hot hand for Coach McQuarrie. St. Bernard's will go left to right in this opening period. A shot straight on goal, and having trouble handling it is Latendry. He was asking for a whistle. He thought he had it cleanly covered. It was not. And a shot gets caught up in the left circle. as the Raiders try to come up on the far side from Mike McGrath. Tries to feed Balzerini. That's out of his reach, comes to the near side. Toby Bolak with a touch. Out on the near side, Balzerini battling with J.J. Ja. Out to the right side, Nashawati will dump it in, left wing corner. Ja will be the first to arrive for the Bernardians. Taken away, and a shot and a save by McGarry. Faceoff will come to the left of McGarry. Colin Sinan's got an appearance for the Bernardians this year, had a clean sheet against Keefe Tech, and another shot, another save by McGarry. Chase Bergeron's been the main starter for the Bernardians this season. But, you know, 3 goaltenders that you can trust has got to be something that you're really happy to have your coach Steven Sylvia. As that one fed down the ice, and on the rush, a shot off the iron from Evan Walker, that close to his 7th of the season. Now fed out top of the slot. Shot save by Latendry off the stick of Matthew Sylvia. Sylvia, one of the dangerous players again on this Bernardian side, already 2 hat tricks on the season, 10 goals. One of the more dynamic scorers in all of Central Mass, had 41 points last season. Sent across out of the reach of Sylvia. He's able to pick it back up. Right side circle, throws it around the boards. Behind the net, Will Canada trying to move it along. Owen Tolson trying to pick it up on the left half boards. Back around right side. Backhanded, but not out of the zone. And a shot on Latendry, and he has no idea where it is. It was somewhere on his body, but he couldn't quite figure out where. Fortunately, in a position that nobody was going to be able to find that puck. And they get a whistle and a draw. Let's see, the Raiders were a predominantly black setup. Black tops, black pants, red stripes with blue trim, and blue numbers. It's quite a unique setup there. Mixing the 2 prominent sides, Hopedale, who's a blue and white school, so that's thrown across with some red in there. And then Milford, who's a predominantly red side, their name of Scarlet Hawks after all. Puck will be sent all the way out of the zone, down to Brody Kenny. Stretched up, Toby Bolak tries to get a touch on the blue line, had trouble handling it. Comes out of the zone, Balzerini on the near side. Keeps control of it. Flicks out to the right wing corner, trying to feed Mike McGrath. Doesn't get to him. Balzerini tries to pick it back up in the right circle, and it's sent out of the zone, back to the red line. Griffin Paquette will dump it back in. Kenny from the right wing corner will go D to D with Ja. Try to go back to Kenny, but he'd already switched places, or tried to. Kenny will get it back anyway. Back into the neutral zone. And here is Walker. Gaining zone, he gets pushed to the boards by Noah Smith, junior defenseman for the Raiders. Balzerini backhandling along for Vance Garvin. Tries to go back right side, but will be taken by the Bernardians. Try to throw it in front, looking for Canada. Couldn't find him. Cody Warren able to keep it in for just a moment. Second effort gets it out of the zone, delayed offside as the Bernardians touch up. Raiders hold it from behind their own net, try to move it out. 11:48 to go, first period, no score. Shots 4-2 in favor of the Bernardians. Losing his footing there was Vance Garvin, and he was helped to the ice by the illegal stick work of the Bernardian. We'll have our first power play here. Interference will be the official call. And the sophomore from Townsend, Will Canada, will serve 2 minutes in the bin. On the face-off to the right of McGarry. Taking like Caleb Falconer and then trying to push towards goal, trying to get a shot off Nathan Whiteman. But holding strong there was McGarry. Falconer regains the zone on the left side, tries to put on the stick work through 3 Bernardians. Too much of a fight that time. And it'll be cleared out of the zone over the stick of Paquette, and he'll go and retrieve. Paquette goes D-to-D with Noah Smith. Smith skates it up in the zone.
Goal Canada, 2-minute minor interference. Time to penalty, 3:24, first period.
Shot from the right dot. Ends up getting blocked down and goes behind the net. Cody Warren trying to keep control of it. Paquette tried to keep it in with the skate. Didn't work out for him. Knocked back into the zone, back out and all the way down the ice. Latendry will cover it up with the pressure coming from Phoenix Fortier. 10:37 to go in the first, 61 seconds to go in the man advantage for Hopedale-Milford. And Coach McQuarrie was telling me too, this is a very young team that Hopedale-Milford has. They graduated a number of seniors last season. Their starting goalie, Nathan Morin, graduated. The backup goalie didn't return. So they didn't really have much experience in goal. We're looking at Brendan Mills, senior, to get the nods. Had a rough period against Auburn, conceded 5 times. Threw Latendry out there in the third, see how he did. And he kept the Rockets off the board. He kept that game close as there's a shot wired towards goal by Noah Smith. And blocked away by Tyler McGarry. And Latendry's just been the hot hand lately. So he's been getting those opportunities in goal and doing quite well as a freshman. Stretched up ice, waiting at the blue line there was Bolak, looking for a shorthanded opportunity. Brings it around the net, but 3 different Raiders surrounding him. Force him to give up the ghost, but there's only 8 seconds to go on the man advantage for Hopedale-Milford. They'll try to rush up for one more chance. McGrath into the zone and quickly thrown out of the zone. Did see Canada sneak out of the box with about a second early that time, but didn't interfere with the play. So the Bernardians 2 go back to full strength. It's a shot from the left side, stopped by Latendry. He once again didn't know where it was. Brody Kenny had the shot there. It seems that's a bit of a challenge for Latendry in the early going, is just trying to get his wits down when he makes a save, trying to track where the puck's gone. Because a few times already we've seen him look around, wondering where it is. But as it stands, 9:13 to go in the first. 8 shots between the two sides, but none have found the back of the net. Face off to the right of Latendry will be won by Hopedale-Milford. Around to the near side, punched off the boards. Warren keeps it in the zone. Tried to feed it for Adam Rendon. Played behind the goal line, the right side. Rendon able to win the puck, holding on to it. Gets back to Warren. His shot is blocked down in front. Trying to jump on, turn towards goal was Andrew Thomas. The freshman couldn't get it in the direction of the net. It dumped down the ice. It was obtainable by Warren, so they'll let it go. Icing waved. Now into the left wing corner for Owen Tolson. Just kept in there by Garvin. But second effort will get it out of the zone. There's the shot by Thomas, but that's blocked out in front. Up the near side, here's Owen Bullock. He'll gain the red and dump it in. Tolson round the boards to the left side. Bernardian's able to get it out of the zone. Here is Evan Walker. Walker with a burst of speed up the left side. Gets a backhand shot, and that touches the iron. Second time this period. One for each post. Now another shot. That's fought off by Latendry. Wraparound, scores! Matthew Sylvia gets the loose puck, sees Latendry out of position, puts in the wraparound, his 11th goal of the season, and the Bernardians have the first strike. See, the initial shot fought off there with the arm by Latendry. Puck fell to his right, again, maybe not quite sure exactly what direction the puck was going to go once it went off his body. As icing called against the Bernardians. Sylvia saw the loose puck, saw Latendry committed hard to the right post, just where he was positioned.
Bernardians goal by number 7, Matt Sylvia. Assist to number 12, Evan Walker. Time of the goal, 7:06, first period.
From there, it was just Sylvia racing Latendry to the near post. Sylvia wins that race for his 11th strike of the season. Smith with the turnover, shot goes just wide. Canada tries to stretch it up, tries to feed Evan. Walker's got a bit of a break. Walker scores! Just like that in transition, Evan Walker with his 7th of the season. 2-0 Bernardians. Two goals in 20 seconds for St. Bernard's. And the junior from Leominster, Evan Walker, factoring into both of them. Came today with 6 goals and 6 assists on the season. Just as quickly as one side goes out of balance, he quickly puts the second one back in balance.
Assist number 28, Will Canada. Canada goal 7-26, first period.
Will Canada gets his 2nd assist of the season. So that puck pops up in the air and will be gloved down by McGarry. 7:17 to go, first period, 2-0 Bernardians. 3 15-minute periods in MIAA ice hockey. The face-off will come to the left of the junior netminder from Fitchburg. Off the glass and into the neutral zone. Josh Balzerini from the red line. Goes off the stick there of Carter Bourget and straight into the Bernardian bench. Everyone ducking for cover there. Face-off will come right at center ice. Shot 7-5 in favor of the Bernardians. 5 saves for either netminder. Now one on the left side. Toby Bolak with a shot. Might have gotten the post there, or at least a piece of Latendry. Either way, he makes the stop. In the neutral zone, Moget really having trouble getting that puck out of his skates. It'll be whacked down into the Bernardian end. They'll go and retrieve. Cody Warren back in, Moget. And then a big hit there, standing up there, Vance Garvin. 6 feet tall, 205 pounds. Big guy there, dumped down icing called against Hopedale-Milford. Face-off will come to one side of Latendry. These are two teams that do not play each other very often. The last time that Hopedale-Milford and St. Bernard's hooked up in ice hockey was 2021. You may remember we were in the midst of a pandemic at that time, as Sylvia shoots it over the net. It's been a little while, and think about how good your memories are of that time in 2021. Has another shot on Latendry, he gets the cover. St. Bernard's was just restarting their ice hockey program. And meanwhile, Hopedale-Milford had a team that, if we'd had a regular season in 2021, they likely were good enough to be state champions that year. They were that good. That following year, they were a state quarterfinalist, after all. And that was just after losing a little bit of that talent. These two teams over the period of 2 weeks played each other 4 times. That's sort of just how the bubble structure worked in their little group. It's dumped down towards McGarry. He's going to play it along. Sticked it quite solidly, and it goes all the way down. Not going to be icing, though. It was obtainable, they'll rule. And now they're going to call a penalty against Hopedale-Milford. St. Bernard's will have their first power play of the contest. As Griffin Paquette gets the touch up there, a hold is going to be called. 5:31 to go in the first period of play. But yeah, those 4 games were challenging. The combined score line was 53-2 in favor of Hopedale-Milford. And now another penalty against Hopedale-Milford, a trip. This Phoenix 40er got himself tripped up. Stick work a little too aggressive there. Ricky Nashawati goes to the bin for the trip. So it's going to be a very long 5-on-3 here. Shot goes through the paint, comes back out to the right point for J.J. Ja. Out to the left side. Shot off the iron and into the ceiling and then into the third row on the near side. Well, we got all 3 posts now.
Greater penalty number 18, Ricky Nashawati. 2 minor for tripping. Anytime that penalty. 9:33.
Face-off comes to the right of Latendry. Won by the Bernardians. Trying to get it across. Sylvia waiting at the right side. That one's going to be about 3 rows short of where we would be. Had the height to get over here to the press box, but didn't quite have the distance. Face-off will come to the left of Latendry. He's made 7 saves in the contest. One of the leading scorers for that Hopedale-Milford side was Hunter Dunn. Had quite a series, put up 23 points, 9 goals, 16 assists. So there's a shot that gets blocked out in front. J.J. Ja, top of the left circle. Pass along into the corner. Now deeper inside. Loose deep in the slot. Finally turned around and off the side of the net. Walker had the shot. Tickle the twine, but on the wrong side, and another shot misses the mark. Comes back out, Matthew Sylvia. Right side. Pass into the left circle. Now a front one-timer, scores! Toby Bolak on the 5-on-3, nails the one-timer to make it 3-0 Bernardians. The indiscipline there really biting Hopedale-Milford. 2 penalties in 3 seconds, and now they've conceded a goal on this power play. And still another 55 seconds to kill off on Nashawati's penalty. And here's Bolak again. Leaves off for Phoenix Fortier. Gets it back to Bolak in the left corner. Stuck behind the net now, around to the left side for Kenny. Moving along, Walker through traffic. And it's turned aside by Latendry. Back in the left corner. Out to the right side. There's Walker again. Left point, Sylvia moving to the top of the circle. Now move it back for Walker. 10 seconds to go on the man advantage. Shot by Kenny goes wide. Walker tries to get to it. Puck still loose in the slot. Finally cleared out of danger. Penalty up to Nashawati. He'll come out of the box. Hopedale-Milford back to full strength, and there's a nice steal. And there's an opportunity. Ricky Nashawati coming into the zone. Backhand shot saved by McGarry.
The third Bernardian goal scored by number 23, Toby Bolak. Assist to number 12, Evan Walker, and number 3, J.J. Ja. 10-minute power play goal, 10:38, first period.
J.J. Ja gets his 5th assist. And Evan Walker has factored in to his 3rd goal of the contest. Now his totals are out of sync again. 7 goals and 8 assists on the campaign. We'll see if he'll fix that before the end of the night. 3 minutes to go, first period, 3-0. That one caught by Latendry, but had trouble holding on to it. Fell right in front of him. Now thrown out in front. 2 different Bernardians lurking deep in the slot. Ryder Testagrossa was there, so was Andrew Thomas. Now in front, Testagrossa with a shot. Toe save by Latendry. Cody Warren stepping up, but right half boards. In control of it, try to put it across. Thomas didn't see it coming. And now brought out of the zone by Lucas Richard. Back and forth in front of the Hopedale-Milford bench. Out of the zone, Nashawati tries to move it along. Has his pocket picked by Testagrossa. He's 1v2. Will take it to the corner, spin around, try to center it. Off a couple legs, was trying to find Phoenix Fortier. Didn't quite get to him though. Noah Smith with the rush up on the far side. Gets held up on the blue line. Will be carried back the other way by Testagrossa. Along for Carter Moget, one of only 2 seniors on this roster for St. Bernard's. Which is the type of thing that sounds not encouraging to the rest of Central Mass, as that one rides the top of the boards and pops out of play. 1:38 to go in the first, 3-0 St. Bernard's. We mentioned Hunter Dunn, 23 points in 4 games against the Bernardians back in 2021. If that name sounds familiar, you'll be hearing his name a bunch in a couple of days when we cover Fitchburg State taking on Keene State, as he's been a standout for the Bernardians. I mean, for not the Bernardians, but for the Falcons. A flurry of opportunities there for St. Bernard's there. Letendry able to shut the door. Shots 13-6 in this first period in favor of St. B's. There will be a penalty coming against J.J. Ja, as he takes a man to the ice who was not in possession of the puck. The officials want to talk about it a little bit here. Discuss exactly how they want to hand out the discipline on this particular run of play. So, instructions going to official scorer Jim LaPointe. J.J. Ja takes his seat in the bin. And it's a 5-minute major against Ja. Quite the opportunity here for Hopedale-Milford to get back into this contest, trailing 3-0. They've been outplayed in this first 15 or so minutes of the hockey game. So now we'll see what they can do with an extended power play.
Penalty number 3, J.J. Ja. A 5-minute major for head contact. Time the penalty 13:36.
So it wasn't just the fact that the contact came,
Last minute of play.
with the puck unavailable, but it was the fact that Ja had his hands up high on the Raider that he was making contact with. And that contact to the head, you push a guy in the head and he falls to the ice, then you're going to put 5 on the board in Federation rules. .42 to go in the first period, 3-0 Bernardians. Face-off will come to the left side of Hunter Letendry. He's made 10 saves in this contest, the freshman out of Milford High School. Draw 1 by the Bernardians. The shot from Brody Kenny goes wide to the left. Now finally settled down by Hopedale-Milford behind their own net. Skated up for 25 seconds. Ricky Nashawati will double back. Move it up for Noah Smith. Trying to make the pass, nothing going there. It's going to be an in and out. And now they'll blow the play dead here. The delayed offside. It was pretty close. They're not going to call it intentional. They'll just call it a standard offside. 13 seconds to go in the period. 2 captains to take the draw here. Nashawati against Bolak. Bolak will win that draw. Kenny around the boards, but intercepted, thrown on goal. And McGarry able to make the save there. Finally pushed out of the zone, down the ice, and the buzzer sounds on what was a very strong first period for St. Bernard's. 3 goals on the board for the Bernardians, and they lead 3-0 through 15 minutes of play. Shots 14-7 in favor of St. B's. Goals for Matthew Sylvia, for Evan Walker, and for Toby Bolak. And already a 3-point night for Walker.
The Raiders had 7.
That goes to sort of the challenges in the first period, how much depth St. Bernard's has at their disposal. And then for Hopedale-Milford, you know, they are a little top heavy. The offense mainly manufactured by their top line. But really just the fact that, you know, Hopedale-Milford ultimately got outplayed in that first period. St. B's was beating them to pucks, winning the battles here and there. And they've come away with a rightly deserved 3-0 lead through 1 period of play. The St. B's team, you'd have to go back quite a while to find the last time they were this strong, I think. You know, last year they had a pretty good run of 13-7-1. It's one of their best seasons by far. Definitely their best since restarting the program 5 years ago. But the first period was a good example of showing what they can do. We'll see how the Raiders can respond. 15 minutes of the books here at the Wallace Civic Center at St. Bernard's 3, Hopedale-Milford nothing. Take a break and we're back. This is Hockey Night in Fitchburg on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University. 1 period of the books between the Bernardians of St. Bernard's and the Raiders of Hopedale-Milford. It's a 3-0 lead for the home-standing Bernardians. We get ready to start the second period of play. Daniel Bolak here with you here on Hockey Night in Fitchburg. First game of our 2026 regular season slate, which we have at least 18 games we are set to bring you. We look forward to bring you a whole bunch of hockey with the St. Bernard's Bernardians, the Monty Tech Fitchburg Bulldogs, and the Fitchburg State Falcons. Goals by Matthew Sylvia, Evan Walker, Toby Bolak for the Bernardians in the first period, but a 3-minute and 35-second penalty they have to kill off. J.J. Jaw in the box for contact to the head. As the Bernardians able to take control of the puck, bring it back behind their own net, slam it out of the zone, comes back to the near side. Griffin Paquette moving along. Josh Balzerini. The battle with Matthew Sylvia. The boards, Balzerini will win that fight, get a shot off, but it was blocked, and Sylvia able to clear it down the ice. Noah Smith will skate all the way down. He'll pick that up. He goes to Hopedale. Ricky Nashawati sent it around the boards out to the left wing corner where it's picked up by St. B's and immediately dumped right back down the ice. Matthew Sylvia this time getting in on the chase. He rubbed out into the boards. A little slow to get up. Nashawati gets around everyone as he gains the zone. Across McGrath, shot save by Tyler McGeary. 8th save of the contest for the junior, making his first appearance on the campaign. He's looked solid in goal. Face-off comes to the left side of McGeary. It'll be won by the Bernardians. Tolson off the boards from OJ. But Paquette's able to take it away. Behind the net for Nashawati. Nashawati tries to turn around and shoot. Brody Kenny is able to get in the way of that. And Kenny will clear it. Hop, skip, and bounce down the ice. Once again, Noah Smith will retrieve. 1:55 to go on the man advantage for Hopedale-Milford. 13:15 to go in the second. 3-0 St. Bernard's. Smith into the zone. We'll keep control of it. Out to the point for Falconer. On the right side, shot save by McGarry. Kept in the zone by Hopedale-Milford. Caleb Falconer trying to keep it in. but finally poked free, and here's Phoenix 40 or the other 6. He'll come into the zone. The shot save by Hunter Latendry. First shot on goal that he's faced in this second frame. On the left side, Nashawati for Balzerini. Left wing corner, Paquette is able to get to that puck. Off the boards to the near side for Falconer. Back to the right circle. Now to the left point. Vance Garvin with a touch on. Will come out to Falconer. The right circle, Balzerini, shot is blocked. Owen Tolson got in the way of that one. 45 to go with the man advantage. Shot through traffic, may have changed direction on the way, but McGarry's able to shut that one down. Raiders holding on to it, back into the left point for Garvin. Strong battling there. The puck won by Brody Kenny. Trying to manufacture a break on goal. Kenny not able to get a shot away. Raiders able to do just enough to hold him back. Face-off will come to Latendry's left. 24 to go on the man advantage, 11:48 to go in the second. 3-0 Bernardians in front. St. Bees wins the draw. Cody Warren goes backwards a little bit, and now dump it back in. Still in the kill for another 12 seconds before J.J. Jaws released from the bin. Rushing up there was Owen Bullock. Raiders can't do a whole lot with it now. Tough angle shot. Ends up going off a stick, floating in front of McGarry, and he'll cover it for a draw. Hopedale High School, the host of this co-op side. We've got 4 different schools actually in this co-op. Milford, of course, is one of them. The other 2 being Douglas High School and Oxford High School. Dumped in and around the boards. Hops over the stick of Ja, but also over the stick of Lucas Richard. Comes back to the left point. Moved along, now into the middle of the zone where it's taken by Andrew Thomas. His pass up for Ryder Testagrossa will be knocked down, intercepted. Falconer tries to move it forward, doesn't go much of anywhere. Puck squirts free and all the way down into the Raider end. To the right wing corner, Adam Rendon. Able to get control of that puck for the Bernardians. Testagrossa tries to center it, gets caught in Falconer's skates. Tough angle shot save, rebound, and another save by Latendry. 2 good stops there for the freshman. That'll be set down the length of the ice and go for an icing. And the Raiders definitely could use it, get those fresh legs on the ice. Of the 22 players in this program for Hopedale-Milford, it is Milford who actually has the most players. In fact, it's quite a few that they've got. Here's Nashawati with a shot that sails up and to the right. Kept in the zone by Hank Richards. Now McGrath. Along off a stick, Richards keeps it in, tries to make the pass, goes through the legs of Will Canada. Around looking to the point, looking for Balzerini, out of his reach. Stretched up. Here's Walker already on a 3-point night. Sylvia shot. And got a piece of Latendry, then the iron, then the netting, and out of play. 9:46 to go in the second, 3-0 St. Bernard's in front. Yeah, 12 of the 22 players are Milford Scarlet Hawks. And you might think that means, okay, so Hopedale's second in that count, right? No. Only 4 Blue Raiders on the roster. Only 4 players from Hopedale. More Douglas Tigers, actually, 5 of them. And 1 Oxford Pirate, that's Caleb Falconer. Used to be a couple other schools that were in this co-op over the years. There was a time when the co-op was called Hopedale-Milford. I remember those days. But Millis now co-ops with Bellingham. Also, I remember back in 2021, there were a couple kids from Whitensville Christian that were part of this co-op. But Whitensville Christian now co-ops with Northbridge, which makes more sense because not only is Whitensville Christian in Northbridge, it's literally on the same street as Northbridge High School. That would have been the more logical co-op, but sometimes things don't quite go as you would expect with logistics and whatnot. Behind the net, around to the near side. Battling for it at the Raider blue line. Finally poked out of the zone, but only to the red line. Ja will throw it in. Will be sticked aside by Latendry. Shot 17-8 in favor of St. Bernard's. It's been a little one-sided. Flashing of sticks as the puck goes down to the left side. Toby Bolak. Tight angle puts it across, but nobody quite there for the Bernardians. Rendon gains the blue and nothing further than that. 2-on-2 back the other way. Trying to feed it there was Nathan Whiteman. Nothing going there, but now settled. Shot attempt by Jeffrey Corbin, a freshman. Couldn't get it cleanly away. Andrew Thomas now. Gets it around the boards. Bolak had fallen to the ice. Trying to make his way back up. Delayed call against Hopedale-Milford. Extra attacker on, shot save, rebound, also saved by Latendry. As McGarry had already come off for the extra attacker. We'll have a trip, our first penalty of the second period. 7:18 to go in the second, 3-0 Bernardians in front. Second time today, it's going to be Griffin Piquette going to the box. Bernardians 1 for 2 on the man advantage. Had a 5-on-3 power play goal. Walker goes across, right side. Sylvia tried to get it back across for Walker for a one-timer. And now Latendry had trouble tracking the puck, figuring out where it was. Bernardians couldn't get a clean shot away. Here's Nashawati with a shorthanded chance, and that goes just over the crossbar.
Raider penalty number 17, Griffin Piquette. 2-minute minor for tripping. Second penalty, 7:42, second period.
Third penalty against Hopedale-Milford today, but the Bernardians with one fewer penalty lead in penalty minutes 7-6. Sylvia's shot deflects up and into the netting. Draw with 6:34 to go in the second. Shots in this period 5-1 in favor of the Bernardians. You can see on the shoulders there of the Hopedale-Milford side, on one shoulder, the eagle that represents the Blue Raider of Hopedale, on the other one, the Red Hawk, or the Scarlet Hawk, we should say, representing Milford. There's a backhand shot, scores! Phoenix Fortier got some space, and he's able to put it into the top right corner. Another power play goal for St. Bernard's, makes it 4-0. Sixth goal of the season for the junior captain, Phoenix Fortier. Just got some space and time to work with. He's able to elevate that puck and put it in the corner. 4 on the board for the Bernardians. Owen Tolson back in his own end. Ryder Testagrossa can't handle that pass. Now loose and a shot, scores! Caleb Falconer got the shot from the left circle. the junior forward from Oxford, has his first of the season. Hopedale's on the board. We had 2 goals in 20 seconds at one point. Now Fortier, there's a shot by Bolak, and that's stopped by Latendry.
Number 7, Matt Sylvia. Time of that power play goal, 8:36, second period.
And here we had 2 goals in 21 seconds for each number 6.
Raiders' first goal scored by number 6, Caleb Falconer. Assist to number 11, Owen Bullock. And number 25, Alex Pinto. Time to go 8:57, second period.
Owen Bullock and Alex Pinto, both Milford High School students, get the assists. And for all 3 players, it's their first point of the season. As Fortier didn't get the best wood on that one, but got it towards Latendry. He's able to make the stop. Puck still loose and a shot blocked. It's Toby Bolak, right side, to the point. Shot whistles wide. Played a bit dangerously there by Garvin. Now from the right half boards. Behind the net, backhand pass by Fortier, goes nowhere. Second effort, now taken out by Hopedale-Milford. McGrath turns around, finds Nashawati. A dangerous opportunity, but a great diving poke there by Phoenix Fortier. Makes a 2-on-1 out in front. Great chance and a save by Latendry. The right wing corner and a centering attempt again by Phoenix Fortier is blocked out. Second effort ends up popping in the air, comes out of the zone. Now another chance for Nashawati. Backhand shot saved by McGarry. The second period has suddenly gotten a whole lot more interesting. Stretch pass and a touch in front of the bench on the right side of the red line. Evan Walker's going to be first to arrive to that puck. Muscle into the boards by Paquette. Now centered. Shot scores! Second goal of the game for Matthew Sylvia. A brilliant snipe. He's got a dozen goals on the season. 5-1 Bernardians. You can't give Matthew Sylvia an inch of space. We'll shoot it just like that. He's got a 3-point night, now up to 26 points on the season in just 7 games. Cleared out down the ice. And icing will be called.
Bernardians' 5th goal scored by number 7, Matt Sylvia. Assist number 12, Evan Walker. Time of the goal, 10:55, second period.
Also a 5-point night, by the way, for Evan Walker. Shot save by a new goaltender, by the way. That is Brendan Mills, who's in the contest now. He's got a shot there that he's got to turn aside. Mills played in the first game against Auburn, conceded 5 times in the second period. So they gave Latendry a shot in the third period, and he's been running with the hot hand, but it looks like the hand's finally cooled down. And well, it was 5 goals conceded that led to Mills getting pulled in the first game of the season, so it's 5 goals conceded by Latendry that leads to the senior from Douglas coming into the contest. As we mentioned, very little experience coming back for the Raiders. Mills played in 1 game last season. And Latendry was an 8th grader and not eligible to play, but he did dress as a shot in tight by the Raiders. That stopped by McGarry. Comes out of the zone. Garvin will dump it back in. Chipped along the board, stays in on the near side. That top line out there for Hopedale-Milford. Balzarini in front, Nashawati, shot save. That goes through the paint, dangerous position. McGarry on his wallet, just trying to get back up into a position where he can move. Finally comes out to the right point, shot by Smith is stopped by McGarry. 2:26 to go in the second period, 5-1 to St. Bernard's. So Hunter Latendry going 19 for 24 in goal. And the freshman who's been playing every second for the Raiders since that third period of that Auburn game will give way to the senior netminder in Mills. Stretch pass knocked down. Jeffrey Corbin trying to move it along, left wing corner. He'll battle with Fortier. Round on the far side. Paquette along. Corbin trying to get into shooting position, having trouble doing so. Hank Richards with a shot. Ends up deflecting wide and cleared down, pounded down the ice. It'll be icing. Fresh legs will come on for Hopedale-Milford, permissible under Federation rules. St. Bernard's also making the line change. That's the more relevant part, since they were the ones who iced it. But line change is perfectly acceptable after icing in the Federation rulebook. Got to get to higher levels of hockey, and there's Evan Walker. Gets a stretch pass, breakaway, scores! 6-point night for Evan Walker! 6-1 Bernardians! Second goal of the game for Evan Walker. He's got the primary assist on the other 4 goals. Just hit that stretch pass. Made the moves, went top right corner. 6-1 to the blue and gold. Brody Kenny with the rush up by shot and a glove save by Brendan Mills.
The 96th goal by the 12, Evan Walker. Assist to number 15, Brody Kenny. Time of the goal, 13:25, second period.
4th assist of the season for Brody Kenny. His first point of the night. But quite a game for Evan Walker, a half dozen points. Came today with 12 points from the first 6 games. He's increased his total by 50%. Bolak's shot cut down in front. Phoenix Fortier with the blind backhand. Nearly found Bolak again. JJ Ja back in his own end. Pass it forward for Fortier. Behind Bolak. Carter Moget trying to move it along. Into the left wing corner. Raiders will have it, play it off the boards. Touched on by Lucas Richard. Here's Falconer, the goal scorer, with a shot that's going to be turned aside by McGarry. 20 seconds to go in the period. Knocked out of the zone, but dumped back in. Held back by Fortier. He'll stretch it up for Bolak. Make the moves. Try to get himself a bit of an opening. Lost a handle on the puck as it goes in the left wing corner. He'll battle with Paquette. Now thrown out in front off a skate and covered by Mills as the buzzer sounds. 30 minutes in the books. 3 more goals for St. Bernard's. Just like the first period, a goal for Evan Walker and 2 that he gets the primary assist on.
Shots on goal, second period. Bernardians 14, Raiders 6.
You can see Mr. LaPointe doing the math for us. 14 shots on goal for the Bernardians, just like in the first period, for a total of 28. It would have been just the same story for Hopedale-Milford if they'd gotten one more shot, but they'll have to settle for 6 for a total of 13. But they do get the goal from Caleb Falconer. The Bernardians have that 6-1 lead. And they'll start the third period 1 goal away from declaring mercy. It's been a strong showing for the Bernardians in this contest. And they're showing the strength of their scoring and the strength of their play this season. 5-1 coming into today. They look like they could very well be one of the leading teams in Central Mass this year. And Hopedale-Milford, with a relatively young team, still trying to learn and grow. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have the third period of action. So don't go away. This is Hockey Night in Fitchburg on FATV. Welcome back to the Wallace Civic Center here in Fitchburg, getting ready for the third period of action between the Bernardians of St. Bernard's and the Raiders of Hopedale-Milford. 6-1, St. P's in front through 30 minutes of play. Daniel Bolak here with you. Travis Falk on camera. Happy to have you along with us here on this Saturday evening. Hockey Night in Fitchburg, continuing to roll on. St. B shaking off the tough loss in the Lynn Christmas Tournament Championship from last week, and really flexing their muscle in this contest, outshooting Hopedale-Milford 28-13. And with 6 goals on the board, 2 goals for Matthew Sylvia, 2 goals for Evan Walker, a goal for Phoenix Fortier, and a goal for Toby Bolak. And 4 assists for Evan Walker, too. It's a 6-point night for the junior. Everything, for the most part, has been going to plan for the Bernardians. A couple things here and there they'd probably want to take back, but other than that, can't complain too much. St. Bernard's will go left to right in this third period. Hopedale-Milford from right to left. Third period is underway. It's Paquette on the near side. Josh Balzerini. From Paquette's pass, stolen by Walker for a moment. Now battled for in the neutral zone. Here's Sylvia. Sylvia with a snipe, and Brendan Mills able to get his glove on that one, just enough to swat that away from the cage. Sylvia backhanding it along the boards. The stretch up ice behind Michael McGrath. Moved along behind the net. Cody Warren trying to get it down the ice. Noah Smith kicks it back into the zone. Now hand pass that down to himself in the middle. To the near side. Stick on from Caleb Falconer. He's got the goal for Hopedale-Milford, his first of the campaign. Thrown around the boards, far side. Will Canada will get it out of the zone. We'll go back to Alex Pinto. Got his first career point on the goal. Battle for the neutral zone, Owen Bullock. Got an assist on that goal for the Raiders. A shot from the right side by Falconer is stopped by Tyler McGeary. McGeary making his first appearance in the season. Has 12 saves in the contest. His counterpart, Brendan Mills, has 3 saves in the contest. Hunter Latendry got the start. Went 19 for 24 in the net. He was chased after the 5th goal by the Bernardians. JJ Ja gets the blue line, gets the shot in, and that's gloved down by Mills. Both of these teams are relatively young when it comes to seniors, at least. 2 seniors for St. Bernard's, Chase Bergeron, who's gotten most of the starts in goal this year, and Carter Moget. For Hopedale-Milford, Griffin Paquette and Ricky Nashawati are 2 of the seniors, the 2 senior skaters. And then Brendan Mills is the 1 other senior on the roster. So only 5 seniors between these 2 teams. A lot more players in the class of 2027, though. Combined, 19 players. A shot from the right point by the Raiders, a stop by McGeary. Looked like Donald Spaulding was closest to that one. It's a freshman from Douglas. Face-off will come to the left of McGeary. St. Bernard's an independent program. They don't co-op with anybody. Well, with 22 players, they can't really co-op with anybody to begin with. Spit out to the right side. Cody Warren keeps it in the zone on the right side. Battling for it. Griffin Paquette for the Raiders. Now it comes out, a shot save by Mills. Another chance backhand opportunity by Testagrossa is stopped by Mills as well. Keep himself alert, and he knows with a 5-goal deficit, 1 more goal conceded will start the running clock. So if Mills wants to maximize the time that he's going to get on the ice tending the goal for his Raiders, he knows he's got to be sharp. Behind the net, Andrew Thomas to the left side. Testagrossa settles it down with the skate, shoots, saved by Mills. Flashes the leather on the left hand. Hopedale-Milford has 2 goaltenders in their system. St. Bernard's has 3. All of them the traditional catch with the left hand. Face-off eventually controlled by Hopedale-Milford. Out to the point, blasted back towards goal by Brody Kenny. Now Canada, backhand shot, save, rebound! And Sylvia puts it just over the net. He's looking for a hat trick. It'll be his 3rd of the season if he can connect. Now turnaround shot save by Mills. Walker battling for it. 6-point night for the junior. Stepping up, trying to move that along. Connor Johansson out there on the far side. Now Josh Balzerini into the zone, puts it in the direction of goal. McGarry able to steer it aside. Poked aside by Walker, down the ice. Canada looking for Sylvia. Off the mark though. Walker off the boards. Getting a stick in there was Sylvia, but now cleared out to center. Dumped back in, actually a 90-foot shot instead. Mills will paddle that down. Walker, tight angle. Centers, shot blocked in front. Walker trying to feed Canada. You know, he's on a hat trick too, but he's willing to make the pass there. Distribute the puck. Icing called against Hopedale-Milford. It's 10:14 to go, 3rd period, 6-1 Bernardians. Hopedale-Milford has been a consistent playoff contender since Mike McQuarrie became the head coach. He's in his 7th year with the Raiders. Since at least 2018, the Raiders have made the playoffs every year. There's a couple of good opportunities there for the Bernardians. I only say at least 2018 because that's as far back as I can reliably find in a matter of moments. You know, they didn't even win a playoff game in their brief history until 2020. And since that year, they've loved it so much, they do it every year. Every single season since 2020, Hopedale-Milford has won a playoff game, except for 2021 when there weren't playoffs. Well, I think there was a pod championship that year, which they may have won, so perhaps even then too. And one of those seasons was a year in which the Raiders only won 5 games in the regular season. But they won their preliminary round game anyway, and despite only having 5 wins, played such a strong schedule that they were worthy of a playoff spot. And there's a shot off the post from Phoenix 40er. Right side, Bolak into the slot, shoots wide. Moget, left point. Tolson back from Moget. Bad angle shot, hits the side of the net. Ricochets to the right. Now in close quarters. 40er with a shot. Mills sees the puck and he belly flops on it and earns a whistle. 8:46 to go in the third. 6-1 St. Bernard's in front. This Raiders side has had some pretty good runs in the postseason in recent years. 2022 made it to the state quarterfinals. 2020 they made it to the equivalent of the state quarterfinals. That was the Central Mass Championship. Which is how the system was back then. Pulled out of the zone by the Raiders. Players getting tied up in the neutral zone. Andrew Thomas in front, tried to feed Testagrossa for a one-timer. That got blocked out in front. Into the neutral zone. Lucas Richard looking for Owen Bullock. All the way back into the Raider end. Paquette skating around. Finds Bullock on the near side. He'll throw it down the ice. Just a little too much oomph on it. It'll go for icing. 7:54 to go in the third. 5-goal lead for the Bernardians. Looking ahead for these two teams, St. Bernard's will be back in action on Wednesday. They'll host Northbridge. Be a 6:30 start here from the Civic Center. Going across left point. Left wing corner, Canada. As that scored out, Walker. Left side looking for Canada again. Brody Kenny back for Walker. See, practically getting double teamed now as he goes for the puck. So much pressure put on there, and finally the puck poked free and out of the zone. It's Ricky Nashawati there making the moves. Here's Matthew Sylvia. The zone drops it off. There's the shot save by Mills off the stick of Walker. He's looking for that hat trick. A 1 to 7 point night looks spectacular. Toby Bolak along for Canada. Continues to hold in the right corner. Sylvia working methodically, trying to find an opening. Get the pass off to Walker. Bernardians continuing to slow it down. Sylvia out to the left corner. Canada. Long for Walker. Gets it back to Canada. Now Sylvia. See the pressure going right on him pretty much immediately. Bernardians continuing to grind down the clock. 6 minutes to go out in front. Score! Will Canada on the one-timer deep in the slot. And mercy shall be declared. It's 7-1. When you go at that low speed, working methodically, grinding down your defense, also extending the lengths of the shifts, waiting for the opportunity to arise and strike. And Will Canada's got his second goal of the season. With that, the running clock will now go into effect with a 6-goal lead after the second intermission.
The Bernardians 7 goals by the 28. Go Canada. Assistant from center Matt Sylvia. 10 goal 902.
Matt Sylvia will pick up the lone assist on that goal. His 4th point of the night. 2 goals and 2 assists for the junior captain from Fitchburg. I mentioned earlier in the contest that Hopedale-Milford, Hopedale's the host team in the co-op, but they only have 4 players in the program. St. Bernard's, of course, based out of Fitchburg, they only have 2 players from Fitchburg. That's Sylvia and Bergeron. In fact, they have as many players from New Ipswich, New Hampshire. And that's 2 more there in Owen Higgins and Maddox Bellamar. They do come from all over to attend St. Bernard's. Many of them from Leominster. About half the team is from Leominster. I said Chase Bergeron is the other Fitchburg kid. No, that's Tyler McGarry, who's the other Fitchburg kid. Bergeron's a Leominster kid. That's what I get for saying that without looking at my stats. Left side, Jeffrey Corbin. Nice centering pass, but Nathan Whiteman couldn't get anything on it. Now a 3-on-2 back the other way for the Bernardians. Bolak leading the charge, gets the shot off, blockered away by Mills. Looks around for it, comes back to Bolak, his shot punched aside, rebound, goes just wide. 3:40 and counting to go in this contest, 7-1 Bernardians in front. Up to the point, redirection, score! It's gonna be the first career point for Connor Johansson. He took the shot, Phoenix 40 redirects it home. It's 8-1. Not much you can really do on that if you're Brendan Mills. Just the point-blank redirection going into the top right corner.
Bernardians 8 goals, scored by the 16, 21. Connor Johansson. 10 goal, 11, 28. Go Bills.
Phoenix 40, second goal of the contest. Bernardians now have 3 separate players on hat tricks. Johansson puts another shot on, tried to do the same thing, but Andrew Thomas's redirection goes just wide. Around the boards on the far side, high goal tally for the Bernardians this season is 9. That came in the Worcester game. We get the touch up on a delayed penalty against St. Bernard's. It is a slash. And Adam Rendon, the freshman forward, will be serving that. So Hopedale-Milford will have 1 chance on the man advantage. See if they can get themselves a goal on the board to show for their efforts. Before the Peabody game, St. Bernard's had 8, 9, and 7 goals scored in the 3 games preceding. Canada gets to that puck first. Out in front, Walker, shot saved by Mills. Walker didn't factor into either of the goals here in the third period.
1 minute.
Still on 6 points.
Third period.
But now Hopedale trying to get it across. One-timer. Oh, what a save by McGarry. Going across from post to post. He's able to shut that down. Walker will skate it up with 35 seconds to go in the contest. Now they'll make their way up. Balzarini's shot. It's going to be gloved by McGarry. Hold on for a draw. See how quickly the officials can get the puck dropped. 10 seconds and counting. But there will be a face-off and one more chance. But nothing will be done with that one more chance. The buzzer sounds. St. Bernard's takes a dominant 8-1 victory to get themselves their 6th win of the season. Pretty complete game from start to finish. Out shooting the Raiders by a margin of 40-17. 12-4 in the third period. 3 different Bernardians with 2 different goals. Matthew Sylvia, Evan Walker, and Phoenix Fortier, all adding 2 goals to their tallies on the season. 6-point night for Evan Walker, a 4-point night for Matthew Sylvia, and 16 saves for Tyler McGarry in his first start of the season. St. Bernard's goes to 6-1 on the season. Hopedale-Milford, they were overtime winners the first time they came up to the Wallace Civic Center when they took down Monty Tech Fitchburg. Their second trip doesn't go nearly as well. And for Hopedale-Milford, they'll fall to 3-3 on the season. Next game for these teams, St. Bernard's back in action on the 7th. They'll be hosting Northbridge for a 6:30 start here at the Wallace Civic Center. Next time we'll have the Bernardians here on FATV. Will be Saturday, January 10th, as St. Bernard's will be hosting Bishop Fenwick. That'll be the back half of a doubleheader. At 4 o'clock, we'll have Monty Tech Fitchburg hosting Groton Dunstable at 2 o'clock. Next week on Hockey Night in Fitchburg. Hopedale-Milford will be back at it on Monday. They'll continue this road trip that they're starting their season on, as they'll be taking on the Neshoba Wolves for an 8 o'clock start at the New England Sports Complex in Marlborough, and then also on the road again against Ludlow next Saturday, the 10th at 7:40. And then also our next broadcast here on FATV will be Monday night. Fitchburg State will be hosting Keene State in a non-conference battle. 6:30 start here from the Civic Center. Hope you'll join us for really any of those games. And all of those games we would like you to join us for, but we'll take whatever we can get. But great performance for the Bernardians, and they're showing they could be one of the really strong teams in Division 4. I'm going to be looking forward to when the power ratings come out in the coming weeks, where they're going to be rated. Because right now the Bernardians, they've been playing quite well, and they could make a run with the team and the core they've got here. Not just this season either, with only 2 seniors on the roster after all. But a great show of force for the Bernardians. They take this one by a score of 8-1. And we'll wrap it up here from the Civic Center. For Travis Falk on camera, I'm Daniel Bolak saying thank you for tuning in. We hope to see you next time. Till then, so long from Fitchburg.